What's up, guys? I know it's been a while since I posted on YouTube. It's been a couple of years, I would say, actually. I wanted to give you guys an update. Obviously, I no longer have the Nissan Maxima anymore. I moved on. I got a new car about 3 years ago. Now it's going to be 3 years in November, actually. I got a Mustang, 2020 Mustang GT fastback manual. So that's what I've been driving now lately. It's been a great experience, especially coming from a transition to the Maxima to the Mustang. It's just a night and day difference. Even though I do miss greatly my Maxima a lot, this car is just exceptional and the best bang for your buck if you're looking to get into a V8, and especially one with a manual. This car is great. Obviously, it does have its flaws, but I think there's more pros than there are flaws. So that's part of the reason why I love this car so much. I got this car in 2021. Bought it, actually financed it right before the freaking car market blew up and made everything terrible for used cars. So I was able to get this one, and I've just been paying it off. And I actually got a good deal on it now. I got it with 11,000 miles, and I've been loving it. I first got it base as hell. Obviously, the interior is still very base, so I just changed out the shifter to a white cue ball shifter. But in terms of the car itself, I got the car with everything that comes in a base model Mustang, but with the V8 engine in there. I got the 5.0 Coyote, which is what I always wanted. At the end of the day, yes, it would have been great to have gotten the premium model. It's just, at the time, my Maxima it was already starting to give out on me. That was part of the reason why I found this Mustang, and I said to myself, man, this is the best I can find right now. And I've always wanted a Mustang. That's always been my dream car as a kid, is owning a Mustang. So that's part of the reason why I just pulled the trigger on it. When I saw the price, I said, fuck it, I can just modify it. I love modifying. I love adding shit to the car. I mean, you guys have seen in my Maxima, I did a considerable amount of work. Not crazy, but a decent amount of work. And same thing I've kind of carried over in the Mustang, just try to keep that same mojo up. So when I got the car, it came with the base wheels, which is criminal, which is understandably why so many people end up in a tree or end up in a crowd, because the fact that you're giving a base model Mustang 235 tires on 18-inch rims, I'm sorry, that's a recipe for disaster. I'm sorry. You would gun it in first gear, and it would just be. One second, there's a popcorn. Nice popcorn, very nice popcorn. You would gun it, and it would just be instantly straight into a wall. Like, I can definitely see you would lose the traction. The rear end would want to shoot out to the side. It was just a recipe for disaster. So I said, and it was good because when I first got the car, I didn't really learn. I knew how to drive manual, but it'd been a while since I've driven manual. So learning it wasn't hard. It was just tricky because this clutch is a little bit different from all the manuals I've driven before, and you have to be very precise. I mean, also too, you have the good old MT82, which is a funny thing. I went from a Maxima that had a shitty transmission, a CVT, into to one of the most complained about transmissions in the car industry right now, for at least for the Mustang. So. But it's honestly not that bad. It's been great. I know how to use it now. Once you learn it, it's really not that difficult, and you only learn from experience. So that's how it has to go. You have to try it. You have to give it a shot. It's built. That's what the transmission is built for. It's built to take the abuse, not too much abuse, but a good amount of abuse. That's what I was saying. Back to what I was saying. So when I had the tires, I said, you know what? I'm learning it. I'm just going to drive it normally as best as I can. Once I feel more comfortable, I'll try it out. But as I got more confident in my driving skills, I just was never confident in launching the car, ever. So I said, I need rims. I need rims bad. And I remember I always wanted to keep my car as true to nature as possible from the factory, because I love the way it looks. I have the Gen 3 S550, so I've always loved the look of it. So I always wanted to keep it as stock as possible, but Obviously, rims are expensive, and I try to get the same OEM's 19-inch rims with the 275 tires on there, but the price that I was getting for them, it just didn't justify it. So I said, you know what, let me look online. I was on American Muscle, and I saw they had this staggered setup, this staggered wheel setup and tire combo. So I said, fuck it, let me try it. It looked good. It's the same. It was a replica rim of the OEM 19-inch rim, but there were 20 inches. And I'm running 255s in the front and then 305s in the rear for that power. And ever since I put it on, my God, and I got Mickey Thompson's tires, street composition tires to go with it, and it's just been a dream. I have no issues gunning it now. I'm just confident that I know my car is gonna hook no matter what. And me and my brother loves to drive this car a lot too, and he always drives with traction off, and he said the moment I got the tires, that was the biggest confidence boost he got from the car, because he was afraid to launch it too. But once I got the Mickey Thompson and the 305s in the rear, it's just hooking every time. My friend, he's the one who recommended it. He has a 2019 SS1LE, and he has 305s in the rears, and he says get 305s, you'll handle the power much better. And it's definitely true. So ever since I did that, it's just been a dream. It's probably been my favorite modification, is getting those rims. Even though it's not a power mod, it's more of an exterior mod. It's just been a great performance mod in reality, because the bigger tires makes me grip quicker, which makes me launch faster off the line. I love it. I also got a Corsa. When I first got the car, one of the first things I got, obviously wanted to see which route I wanted to go. I got an X-Pipe, and MBRP X-Pipe. It sounded good. I had it for a while. I had it for like about 6 months. It was good. I just didn't get that exhaust note I loved. And that's the thing. I didn't want to get another exhaust. I loved the stock exhaust, so I wanted to try it out, the X-Pipe, to see if I really enjoyed that. I didn't. Overall, I just ultimately didn't like it. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to be happier if I get a catback exhaust. I only got the X-Pipe and kept the stock mufflers. It just didn't sound too good. And at the end of the day, I mean, I have my reservations about MBRP. It's a good brand. It's just not very expensive, and you pay for what you get for, is what I've learned. So, and I've always known the most well-liked catback exhaust for the Mustang has always been a Corsa. So when I was looking for a Corsa, you know, people always get the Extreme. They always want to get the Extreme because it sounds the best. I just found it to be, personally, this is my opinion, I do think they sound great in person. It's just, I can't live with that drone, that loudness. I'm sorry, it's just too much. So I went with the Corsa Sport instead, and it's just how I wanted the Mustang to sound. Not crazy loud, but nice. A nice tone to it when you're gunning it. A nice low end, and then when it gets high in the gears, it screams. Just not as loud as an Extreme, but it rips, it screams, and it's just been great. So I absolutely love this Corsa Sport. I've had it for about, it's gonna be 2 years now. I want to say in May it's gonna be in a couple days, actually it's gonna be May. So it's gonna be 2 years of having this Corsa, and it's been phenomenal. And then I got a Canon drop-in air filter. Obviously I could do the intake, but you know, from the Maxima, because I had a short ram intake in the Maxima, and yes, this one's a true cold air intake, but one of the things I don't like is that a lot of the intakes you find nowadays, they don't have a heat shield, so you can't, so the intake is never going to be at its true optimum temperature to give you the most power output. And one thing my brother's Q50, he did, since he had dual intakes, he just kept the stock air box, and he just put drop-in air filters in there, and it gives you the same. I mean, obviously the performance intakes are going to give you the most power, but I mean, for what you're getting, you know, you're going to be good with the stock air box and the drop-in air filter. You're going to get that true, and it says 5 horsepower, and it's actually confirmed. I did my research on it, and it gives you it. Engineering Explained has a video on it, on actually the performance gains from these drop-in air filters. So that's what I'm running right now. And then recently, in the beginning of this year, I decided I need to get a tune badly, because my low end, when I was just running the stock, when I was just running the drop-in air filter and then the catback exhaust, it was good. It's just I felt the low end lost some of that zippiness. So I decided to get, I don't want a full performance tune. I just wanted to get an ECU remote flash tune. So I got one from Bama. Obviously, people have their reservations about it. Does it give you power? Does it not? I definitely do think it gives you a little bit. I mean, it gives you what it's advertising, but it's nothing to write home about. It removes a lot of the restrictions from the transmission that it comes with from the factory. So it removes the speed limiter, it removes a couple other restrictions, and then I made sure to calibrate the ECU to the catback and the drop-in air filter, so then now it's properly making the power that it's advertised to be making. So it's been good. I love it. And it's when you're on the power, and if you shift it crisp, it's great. That was the first thing I noticed with the remote tune, is that I had to brake much faster than I would have before, and I picked up speed quicker. And when I shift and I make sure the shift is perfect, I do a little wheel hop now, which is something I never experienced when I had the original setup. But I love it. My brother loves it. I definitely have noticed a little power. Nothing crazy. I'm probably pushing wheel horsepower wise, probably 436. I had to get a dyno ultimate, but at the end of the day, it's not gonna be too significant to be like, wow, I got a crazy amount of power from the remote tune. No, probably just a little to compensate for what it is you pay for. Obviously, the more money you spend, the more power you'll get and the better tune it is. So, but nonetheless, I'm like super happy. I've had this car for almost 3 years now, and I love every single thing about it. I mean, I'm sold on this whole car brand. I love it. I recommend it, and it's been great as a 26-year-old.